Vietnam Weekly News Highlights. Vietnam plans to fully reopen door to international tourism in April. Number of profitable Japanese enterprises operating in Vietnam rises. Government to slash VAT from 10% to 8% in 2022. Focus on speeding up the implementation of the Ring Road. Samsung Vietnam posts 14% revenue growth in pandemic-hit year. More capital flows come to economic, industrial parks in 2021. Addressing a conference on improving competitiveness on January 18, Minister of Culture, Sport and Tourism Nguyen Van Hung noted Vietnam is kickstarting its tourism recovery scheme by reopening the door to domestic tourism that has received support from localities and travel businesses as well. Besides, the Civil Aviation Authority of Vietnam has just decided to increase the frequency of international flights to Japan, Korea, Taipei, China, and Singapore. Airlines increase flights to the above markets to 14 flights per week, divided for 4 operators, applied after January 20th. Flight routes to Australia, Thailand, Cambodia, and Laos will operate 10 flights/week. Particularly, the routes to Taipei and the US will operate 4 flights/week. The proportion of Japanese enterprises operating in Vietnam forecast to be profitable in business activities last year is 54.3%, up 4.7 points compared to 2020. This figure is part of a survey on Japanese investment in Asia and Oceania 2021. The chief representative of JETRO, Hanoi Takeo Nakajima, presented the figure in Hanoi on January 19. In this 35th survey, the program received responses from 702 Japanese enterprises operating in Vietnam. Notably, the survey period was from August 25 to September 24 last year, coinciding with the time when Vietnam implemented strict social distance measures due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The number of Japanese businesses investing and operating in Vietnam saying their profit improved reached 31.4%, an increase compared to the last survey in 2020. Following the passing of a 350 trillion VND, approximately $15 billion economic recovery package, the government is considering the implementation of a cut to VAT. As part of the stimulus program, VAT for applicable goods and services will be cut down to 8% in 2022, down 2% from the current rate, with the reduction set to begin from February. The move has been said to amount to a 49.4 trillion VND, $2.17 billion tax break for businesses, nearly 3 times the tax cut they received throughout 2021, according to Minister of Finance Thu Duc City. On January 18, 2022, Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh chaired a meeting with ministries, branches of Hanoi City, Bac Ninh, and Hung Yen provinces on investment policy on construction of Ring Road for Hanoi Capital Zone. Previously, on January 15, the Prime Minister chaired a meeting with ministries, branches of Hochiminh City and Long An, Dong Nai, Binh Duong, Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu provinces on investment policy on Ring Road 3 and 4 construction. At the meetings, Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh emphasized that these projects are very important infrastructure projects and have great significance, creating a breakthrough in socio-economic and urban development for localities. Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh requested the establishment of a working group to implement Ring Road projects 3 and 4 in Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City. Samsung Vietnam posted a revenue growth of 14% to $74.2 billion last year. Despite COVID-19 impacts, the company exported $65.5 billion worth of products, up 16% from 2020. It said the results were achieved because its factories strictly imposed anti-pandemic regulations and received government support. Over 50% of Samsung's smartphones are produced in Vietnam and are exported to 128 countries and territories. Choi Joo-ho, Samsung Vietnam CEO, affirmed the pandemic does not impact Samsung's investment strategy in Vietnam, and the company has been pouring millions of dollars more into the country to stabilize its factories, increase productivity and quality. By the end of last year, Samsung had invested $18 billion into Vietnam. It has 6 factories in the country, located in the northern provinces of Bac Ninh and Thanh Nguyen, and in Ho Chi Minh City. Economic and industrial parks nationwide drew 539 foreign invested and 615 domestic projects with a total registered capital of $12.8 billion last year despite COVID-19 pandemic, up 15% annually, reported the Ministry of Planning and Investment, MOPI. The additional capital reached 236.2 trillion VND, equivalent to that in 2020. The Ministry's Department of Economic Zones Department said as of late 2021, the country was home to 564 IPs under planning with a total area of 211,700 ha, 398 established IPs covering 123,500 ha, 292 of them have been put into operation, and 108 under construction. So far, IPs and economic zones have attracted 10,331 foreign and 10,288 domestic projects worth $231.6 billion and 2.54 quadrillion VND, $11.04 billion respectively. The disbursed capital reached around 69% and 46.5% of the total registered capital. Hanoi Weekly News Highlights. Building a park with over 18 hectares, Trau Quy town. Lowest apartment supply in Hanoi in 5 years. Mailand Hanoi City's Creative City launched. The Hanoi People's Committee has just approved the detailed planning task, Scale 1/500 of parks and gardens in Planning Plot B 1.1 in Trau Quy Town, Gia Lam District. Accordingly, the plot of land has a planning scale of about 18.4 hectares. The goal of the plan is to create a green park area combined with a modern, synchronous lake in terms of architecture and technical infrastructure to meet the needs of urban development. Savills Vietnam's end-of-year 2021 report shows growth in the number of new homes quarter-on-quarter, but down year-on-year. The supply of apartments launched in the fourth quarter of 2021 reached about 4,500 units, in which the next phase of 6 projects provides 3,600 units, equivalent to 80% of new supply. The remaining 20% comes from 4 new projects. According to analysis by Savills, this type of housing is recording a 42% increase in QoQ, but a decrease of 19% YoY. This is also the lowest level in the past 5 years, when primary supply decreased by 21%, with more than 33,600 units. This trend is forecast to continue in the coming years as future supply in 2022 and 2023 stays below 25,000 units and falls below 20,000 in the following years. Mailand Hanoi City was introduced as a creative city in the capital with the companionship of UNESCO and UN Habitat in the launch ceremony on January 22nd, with the meaning of tomorrow's house, as well as My Sweet Home. Mailand Hanoi City is the new name of Splendora Bac Ninh, one of the urban areas invested by POSCO Corporation, Korea. According to the sharing from the investor, Mailand Hanoi City will inherit the traditional values of the existing Splendora and the open, scientific and sustainable planning to become the creative city. In addition, Mailand Hanoi City will continue to raise the bar in urban design and cultural identity with the companionship of UNESCO and UN Habitat. Ho Chi Minh Weekly News Highlights. Thursday, Duc City celebrates its first founding anniversary. $538 million expressway opened to traffic in southern Vietnam after 13 years of construction. $219 million offshore wind power plant launched in Mekong Delta. Work on VND 2.1 trillion road project in Mekong Delta begins. Nova Consumer to offer nearly 11 million shares in IPO. Coca-Cola invests over $136 million in factory in southern Vietnam. Lego pledges to speed up $1 billion plant project in Vietnam. Thursday Duc, a Class 1 city of Hochiminh City, and the first city to use city-within-city model in the country celebrated the first anniversary of its founding on January 22. Speaking at the first anniversary celebration, Secretary of the Party Committee of Thursday Duc City Nguyen Van Hue announced the city's outstanding achievements after the establishment, including completing organizational structure of administrative agencies. Launching emulation movement themed the year for building urban administration and improving the investment climate associated with the implementation of the Resolution number 131/2020/QH14 and Q131 on organizing urban administration in Ho Chi Minh City, developing Thursday Duc into a smart and creative city with a good quality of life, sentimental attachment, and the fast and sustainable development. The city has also made every effort to control the COVID-19 pandemic, maintain achievements in preventing and controlling the disease, ensure the safety and health for people, and implement socio-economic recovery. The $538 million Trung Luong Mai Thuan Expressway was opened to traffic on Wednesday after 13 years of construction, which will help shorten the time to travel between Ho Chi Minh City and Mekong Delta provinces. The expressway's inauguration followed a ceremony in the Mekong Delta province of Tiên Giang on Wednesday. At the event, State President Nguyen Xuan Phuc hailed the efforts of Tiên Giang authorities, DOCA Group, relevant agencies in overcoming difficulties, especially in relocating more than 3,200 households, to complete the project. Although the project is expected to be officially finished in March, it was open to traffic early to meet travel demand during the Lunar New Year (Tet) holiday, about 2 weeks away. Stretching 51 kilometers, the Trung Luong Mai Thuan Expressway is part of the country North-South Expressway network and is considered a key route linking the Mekong Delta region with Ho Chi Minh City and the southern key economic region. Renewable energy developer Trung Nam Group has launched its first offshore wind power plant at a cost of nearly VND 5 trillion, $219.3 million, in the Mekong Delta. The 100-megawatt Dong Hia wind power plant has its 25 turbines off the coast of Duyen Hai district in Trau Vinh province, the company said in a statement Monday. It is set to contribute 330 million kilowatt-hours of power annually to the national grid. Trung Nam, whose website says it now has 4 wind power and 3 solar power plants in Vietnam, plans to have renewable power plants with a capacity of 3.8 gigawatts and LNG-fired plants with a capacity of 1.5 gigawatts by 2025. Vietnam plans to double its wind and solar power capacity to 31 to 38 gigawatts by 2030. Renewable sources now account for 27% of its power capacity, according to national utility Vietnam Electricity. The Transport Ministry, in coordination with the authorities of An Giang Province and Can Tho City today, January 18, broke ground on a project to build a road connecting to National Highway 91 and a bypass in An Giang's Long Xuyen City. The 17.3-kilometer project will pass through Can Tho City and An Giang Province, both in the Mekong Delta. Under this project, the Transport Ministry, as the investor, will build a new road measuring over 15 kilometers in length and upgrade a 2-kilometer section of National Highway 80. This is the ministry's first project to get off the ground in 2022, with total investment exceeding 2.1 trillion dongs, $90.11 million, backed by loans offered by the Asian Development Bank and the reciprocal capital of the Vietnamese government. According to the ministry, the National Highway 91 section passing through Long Xuyen City has been overwhelmed by heavy traffic, thus affecting the daily activities of local residents. Therefore, the construction of the bypass is necessary to facilitate traffic on the highway. Up to now, the Mai Thuan Project Management Board has signed a contract to implement the CW4C construction package. The construction procedures were carried out from January 1st, and the project is expected to be completed by the end of 2023. Nova Consumer, a subsidiary of Nova Group, has announced its initial public offering, IPO, plan with 10.9 million shares at a minimum price of nearly 43,500 dongs each. The firm expected to mobilize nearly 474 billion dongs from the IPO. Investors will register to buy at least 1,000 shares and a maximum of 5.444 million shares. They can register to buy and make deposits from February 7th to 28th. Nova Consumer has been appraised at over 4.7 trillion dongs before the IPO. The value is expected to increase to 5.2 trillion dongs after the IPO. The firm will use 430 billion dongs out of the money earned from the IPO to acquire Consumer Investment JSC's stake at Sunrise Foods Company, Ltd., 35 billion dongs to make a contribution to Sunrise Foods Company, Ltd., and the remainder to hike its working capital. Coca-Cola will spend more than $136 million investing in the construction of a beverage factory in Long An Province, southern Vietnam, local authorities announced on Monday. The Provincial Industrial Park Management Board just granted the investment certificate to Coca-Cola on Friday, the same day the firm had applied for it, according to the board's head Nguyen Ton Ton. The project is located in Phu An Ton Industrial Park in Ben Luc District. In 2021, despite the adverse impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic, Long An attracted more than $490 million in foreign development investment, FDI, into industrial parks, an increase of $26 million from 2020, and more than 11.7 trillion dongs, $514.8 million, in total investment capital, a rise of over 6.7 trillion dongs, $294.8 million, from the previous year. Danish toy production company Lego Group is recruiting personnel for its $1 billion plant project that is expected to get off the ground in the southern province of Binh Duong this year. This information was unveiled by Preben Elnef, Vice President of Global Brand at Lego Group, during a working session on January 17 alongside leaders of Binh Duong province. Elnef Heil appreciated Binh Duong's dynamic investment climate and long-term development orientations, and vowed to speed up construction of the project as committed. In response, Vo Van Min, chairman of the Binh Duong People's Committee, emphasized that the locality has pledged to create the most optimal conditions possible for Lego to undertake the project in the future. He added that the locality has also prepared sufficient transport infrastructure and a power grid system for the group in order to deploy the project as soon as possible. The factory represents the group's 6th manufacturing site in the world and is the 2nd throughout Asia. It is to help Lego Group expand its global supply chain network, flexibly adapt to changes occurring in consumer demand in each region, and to provide children with fun experiences in the years ahead. By developing the project, the group aims to generate 4,000 jobs for locals in Binh Duong over the next 15 years.